Let's be clear, this story isn't just a courtroom drama. It's about the emotional chaos left behind when music's biggest names face something that no PR team or lawyer can spin away. Rhymir Carter has been quietly fighting for over 10 years to prove one thing, that Jay-Z is his father, but now the silence is over. The court has green-lit a paternity test, and this time Jay-Z can't avoid it. No more delays, no more sidestepping. July 18th is the deadline, and online attention is buzzing like vultures circling a storm. Here's the backstory. Rhymir's mother, Wanda, said she had a brief fling with Jay-Z when she was just 15 and he was 22. Months later, Rhymir was born. Jay-Z disappeared from their lives, and Wanda later listed her high school boyfriend, Robert, as the father on the birth certificate. DNA tests later proved Robert wasn't the dad, but Jay-Z never submitted one. Attempts in 2010 to get him to comply were ignored, and the case was dismissed. Rhymir tried again in New Jersey. Jay-Z's lawyers argued he had no ties to the state, but evidence kept surfacing that contradicted that claim. Still, the case was repeatedly thrown out. Every time Rhymir got close, legal maneuvers stalled the process. Now backed by support from the NAACP and the ACLU, Rhymir brought the case to the New Jersey Supreme Court. This time, the judge sided with him. Jay-Z must respond. Rhymir is also requesting that sealed documents from 2012 onward be made public. Tension is mounting around the Carter empire. This isn't some TikTok rumor or clout chase. Rhymir's message has been consistent for years. He doesn't want money, fame, or attention. He just wants the truth. And that honesty is what makes the story so gripping. If he's lying, he's maintained a decade of deception for nothing. If he's telling the truth, the ramifications could shake the Carter's image to its core. Beyoncé is reportedly impacted too. She's been working on a memoir for over 10 years, but sources suggest she's reconsidering what to include after the latest court developments. Jay-Z's past infidelities and the infamous Solange elevator incident could all resurface. Now, with a potential 31-year-old child stepping into the spotlight, even Beyoncé may be losing control of the narrative. It's not just tabloids. Nicki Minaj and 50 Cent have chimed in online, and influencers are spreading the story with captions like "Jay-Z's goose is cooked" and "Happy Father's Day." What started as private legal drama is turning into a cultural moment, forcing the public to form opinions on instinct, not just evidence. Jay-Z has built an empire on control. Control of his music, his image, his story. But what happens when control slips? Rhymir isn't backing down. With court approval and social media amplifying every update, this case is no longer private speculation. It's public record. If Jay-Z avoids this, everyone will notice. And unlike a courtroom, the court of public opinion is merciless. Rhymir has been labeled everything from clout chaser to brave, yet he remains calm, exhausted from over a decade of doors closing in his face. All he's ever asked for is a DNA test, not money or fame. And then there's the troubling detail nobody can ignore. Rhymir's mother was 15. Jay-Z was in his 20s. The legal and moral implications of that alone are huge. Likely a key reason Jay-Z avoided the issue. If the test confirms the relationship, this isn't just about parenthood. It raises statutory, ethical, and reputational questions that no Grammy or Super Bowl could shield him from. Reports suggest Jay-Z's team tried to settle quietly years ago, offering hush deals that Rhymir's aunt allegedly refused. And she didn't just reject them, she shut them down completely. She came armed with documents, receipts, and details too concrete to ignore. That's when the legal battlefield turned ruthless. Gag orders, counterclaims, and a labyrinth of lawsuits designed to drain anyone without deep pockets. Yet Rhymir pressed on. Even after losing his mother to a heart attack, he never wavered because her final words to him were clear. "That's your father." Now with the court compelling Jay-Z to respond, a collision is unavoidable. This is no longer speculation. It's a ticking clock. The hip-hop community isn't staying quiet either. 50 Cent didn't hesitate to strike, posting direct shots online, calling it Jay-Z's last Super Bowl. Nicki Minaj, still holding grudges over past dealings with Roc Nation, reignited her feud, claiming unpaid money and adding interest for every delay. But this isn't random gossip. These are industry veterans circling like sharks, sensing blood in the water. Meanwhile, whispers from inside Rock Nation suggest Beyoncé is bracing for impact. Not only has she delayed her long-awaited memoir, but insiders say she's consulting lawyers to protect joint assets, including real estate. This isn't casual drama, it's billionaire-level chess. If the paternity test triggers scandal, it won't just touch Jay-Z. It could engulf Beyoncé's carefully crafted public image. She's already contending with rumors about a strategic separation, and the stakes are escalating. This isn't simply a DNA test. It's a reckoning of power, influence, and legacy. Jay-Z may have hoped time would bury this, but the longer it lingers, the louder the public, insiders, and even unexpected allies speak. Online, debates have shifted from "is Rhymir his son" to "why dodge a test if you're innocent?" A decade of quiet persistence has now transformed into a cultural moment, forcing tough questions about influence, wealth, and control. This case reveals more than legal maneuvering. It exposes the protective instincts of someone guarding a brand over truth. Behind the headlines, Rhymir's personal struggle adds a human layer, losing his mother, facing public skepticism, and being painted as a liar. He never twisted the story to villainize Jay-Z. His approach is calm, measured, and persistent. Just a son seeking truth amid a storm of fame and power. Timing couldn't be worse for Jay-Z. With scrutiny on other industry giants, the spotlight on him is unavoidable. Cultural tides are shifting. What once might have been quietly contained is now broadcast across timelines, and people are paying attention. According to insiders, tension is building behind the Carter circle. Beyoncé, known for her composure, is reportedly furious, not just at the potential scandal, but at the sense of betrayal. This isn't a fling or a fleeting mistake. It's potentially a son, a living link to a past she never anticipated. The exposure is personal and raw. She can no longer shield herself behind music or artistry. Reports indicate she's taking steps to separate emotionally and financially. Quiet, legal meetings, paused brand deals, and tighter control over press inquiries. Sources claim she may tell her story on her own terms, turning the paused memoir into a major cultural event, prioritizing herself above anyone else. Jay-Z remains silent, but each passing day makes the silence speak louder. Avoiding the test shifts public perception, and even supporters are quieting. When the day comes for the DNA test, it will reveal more than paternity. It could redefine a legacy, a reputation, and a family. The irony is sharp. A man who built his identity on truth, hustle, and resilience now faces scrutiny, not as Jay-Z the mogul, but as Sean Carter, the human, and Rhymir. He remains steadfast, waiting, remembering his mother's words. For him, this journey has never been about revenge. It's about recognition, being heard, and being acknowledged. Sometimes the truth isn't about victory. It's about being seen. And now the world is paying attention.